there's Glenn Beck. He's on the right. He's taken his Band-Aids off, so whatever has happened to his face is somehow healing. We never got a word. I hope it's nothing malignant. I hope it's benign, or it's simply just, I mean, if it's abuse, Sean, get help. He doesn't love you. But, in this particular circumstance, he's running with the impeachable side of it. There's a bunch of people using the impeach Biden over this because they're still stinging because Trump got impeached twice. And they just, it just stings. And then they're like, what? They're weaponizing impeachment. And then as soon as they can find anything that they're like, we've got something. I'm going to stick to this. We need to impeach him. Like, let's weaponize impeachment to just show how bad it is. So here we go.
What are the narratives here?
Oh.
You have Joe Biden, who's obviously bungled this beyond all recognition, and
well, no, I recognize it. I recognize it as a static situation that changed over a period of time, over a period of about 3 weeks, and then they sped up their response, and then we're reacting to reality on the ground. It's comprehensible. I mean, military leaders are doing it right now. They've dealt with things like this before. Grenada, anyone?
credit of the mainstream media they've actually.
Oh God, hold on. Okay, that's fine. Hold on.
Recognize that. I mean, most of the time, most of the reporting has actually been pretty good here. They have called
because they're slamming Biden and you're just ready to jump on it. Yeah, most of it. The part where they keep bringing up the fact that Trump made this deal with the Taliban, that rubs me the wrong way.
I've heard.
There's no way you can't.
Right, there's no way
This
you
is
can't.
the first thing in my lifetime that I have seen that wasn't some sort of dirty backroom scandal that warrants impeachment.
Yeah, I will say that Trump's dirty backroom scandals did warrant impeachment. I'll give you that, Glenn. But so why does this warrant impeachment?
Oh yeah, this
is an impeachable offense.
That's right. This is
how so?
Different than hey, there's a scandal. This is just he's doing such a bad job.
This is not Nixon. This is not. This is
no. It's definitely not Nixon. I mean, you're mixing up your presidents. You're supposed to slam with. You're supposed to say he's Carter. Go to Carter next.
I fooled around with cigars and that intern. It's none of that.
No.
It took 40 hours for Boris Johnson to get our president on the phone.
It's
40.
Inexplicable.
For Boris Johnson? Why? His military leaders are talking to our military leaders about getting their folks out.
Cannot happen. They're our top ally. They were there with us through almost all of this.
Why wasn't Boris able to talk to him when he was available? I mean, I understand there's a time difference. Did that factor in?
They do not no ally trusts us anymore. You think we have another hit on the 20th anniversary of September 11th?
We won't be in we won't be in Afghanistan?
No one will stand with us again.
Well, they won't have to in Afghanistan because we won't be there.
No one.
Well, yeah, especially in any of the country, in country in Afghanistan. They won't stand with us. No. They won't be standing there either because a lot of them left, and the only people they had there left behind there were diplomats that we were providing security for. So,
he was a moderate. Wrong. He was going to bring us back together. Wrong.
Well, no one can put you back together, Glenn. Look at you. You're falling apart.
He was...
Put your earpiece back in. What are you waiting for? Audience applause? I can't hear the crowd say my name if I have both of my in-ears in.
Was gonna bring the credibility of the presidency and the United States of America back to the world stage. Really?
Yes. Yes, and all the blue states, especially the Delta variant, is getting under control. In the red states, not so much, obviously because Republicans don't trust Donald Trump, and it's still with them, and they can't, they're not going to get the vaccine because they don't trust Operation Fart Steed. Excuse me, I sneak up on myself when I bring it up.
Captain's log.
But for the record, what else is he not doing? Oh yeah, he's not staying in Afghanistan. That's right.
Because not a single, I'm not saying they liked Donald Trump, but at least they respected Donald Trump.
Yeah, enough to meet with him as long as he freed their leader from prison.
At least
I thought he was talking about the Taliban. Oh, you mean the allies, the people that stood around him like a petulant child going, what the fuck is the matter with you? Why are you trying to dismantle NATO? Because Russia wants you to?
They may not have liked him. They may not have wanted him to be president.
But they sure wish he was the allied commander of NATO.
They knew Donald Trump was a force to be reckoned with.
Yes, so are floods. No one wants them in the middle of their peace negotiations.
And he actually would talk to them. How is it?
Talk to who? Oh, the allies. Oh, he'd also, the problem is he would talk to the allies to tell them what the dictators that hate democracy said and went, we should be more like them.
It's president, because it's not like you and me are like, oh, gee, I was out at the beach and I left my cell phone in the car. There is
It's a great little sketch. It was adorable.
someone always with the president of the United States. How many times?
Yes, Dr. Joe Biden.
That's what I really want to know. How many times did Boris Johnson call?
Yeah, I want to know that too. Honest to God, Boris Johnson isn't getting his call returned?
And how many times did someone walk into the president and say, Mr. President, the prime minister is trying desperately to get a hold of you?
And he said, yeah, I'm on a call with the Joint Chiefs and my own military leaders coordinating the extraction of tens of thousands of Americans and everybody else here. Can Boris just have his military leaders talk to ours to coordinate anything they need on the ground, and I'll talk to him later? The fuck? What did he want? It's going to be fine, Boris. Boris? Yes. Yes, Mr. Johnson. Yeah. The president can't come to the phone right now. He wants to know what you need. Yeah. Well, yes. I mean, I understand that with the time difference. Well, I can read you a story if you'd like. Anything from Dr. Seuss. Except the one that was obviously, there was one of the books that was taken. It's just not for sale anymore. You have a copy. Well, I can't read it from here. I have a couple. We can do the Sleep Book's adorable, or the Lorax. Would you something along those lines? Would those work? He fell asleep already. Isn't that lovely? Okay. Anyways, back to business, Mr. President.
Oh, no, nummies. Nummies, num. How many times did that happen? And
it didn't. None at all. It did not happen.
If it didn't happen, who's actually running this country?
Biden, which is why he doesn't need to yap with Boris Johnson about fuck all.
Because there's no way Boris Johnson can't get someone to walk into the president's office and say, he really needs to talk to you.
Yeah, he really does. Guys, I don't know, he's very upset, and there's a lot on his mind. It's just, this is your weekly sharing session, and I don't care if there's something crazy going on in the world. I feel...
No.
What the fuck is Biden supposed to be? Boris Johnson's anxiety dog?
He's either saying no or
yeah, he might be saying no. How about that? No.
I mean, Biden has nothing to do with this, which I don't believe, frankly. I think I don't either. I think that exonerates him from the terrible job he has done here. He is.
Yeah, they can't make up their mind. Either he's not in control, in which case it's not his fault, or he is in control and it is his fault, and they want it to be his fault, and yet they also want to say he's not in control. It's got to be rough. There's a lot of trolls today, largely because of the name of today's feed. So that usually brings them out, because it's very upsetting for them to see how, first of all, Biden is president and Trump isn't. and that he's actually getting us out of Afghanistan and Trump couldn't. Yeah. And also, Biden got an infrastructure bill passed.
I think he is in control, and that's a huge problem. I mean, sometimes we have
Look, they're torn.
bad thoughts, Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sometimes we have bad thoughts. All the time. I mean, this show should be called Glenn Beck's Bad Thoughts.
We have to admit these things. Sometimes
Do you? What are your bad thoughts?
We get tempted by something bad, or we have a bad negative thought. Mm-hmm. I had a bad thought.
Okay.
Does it have anything to do with whatever was growing on Glenn's face?
Day.
Wash it. The first thing you have to do is lance it, release it.
TMI. Lance it? Really? You're going to bring up that word with the weird things on your face that you... All right.
Yeah.
Would it be better to actually have Kamala Harris as president? Now, I stopped myself quickly.
No, can I tell you something?
But, at least I think she'd be awake.
I said that this morning. I was talking to Pat, and I said... It couldn't get worse, and everybody in the room went, "Oh, yes, it can."
And yes, I can.
And you're right, it could.
It could be a woman. I mean, he may have Alzheimer's and wander around in fields grasping at the sun, thinking it's a lollipop in the sky, but at least he's not a chick. Right, Glenn? Jesus Christ.
But at least we would know that she was there.
Right.
Yeah, these are Biden's decisions. Well, yeah.
No idea who's running this country.
I do. It's Biden. That's why he said it's my decision, and I stick with it. Because if it was the deep state, they would have already done it. If the deep state was who Trump was fighting this whole time, and the deep state wanted to get out of Afghanistan, which is, I don't know where the fuck that suddenly flip-flopped, right? What you look at these assholes trying to be on both sides of this issue. Biden is a crime syndicate head and wants to destroy America and is more effective at destroying America in 7 months than anybody could possibly want. He's a Machiavellian figure who can knows he's undermining America's standing in the world just by getting us out of Afghanistan. But also he's a doddering fool who can't put a sentence together, and he's not really making these decisions. It's somebody in the deep state who's probably pushing this whole thing. But the deep state is what was telling Trump what to do, and they kept him from doing what he really wanted to do. And apparently the deep state that's making Joe Biden get us out of Afghanistan was trying to get Trump to get us out of Afghanistan, so it was Trump's decision to stay in Afghanistan. This is fucking goofy.
I agree with you. The way he has...
Well, that's why you have him on the show, stupid. You don't bring anybody on the show you disagree with. That's the business model.
Defended this. I do think this was his plan.
Yeah.
I think...
Yeah?
He's 100% responsible for this.
Well, good. At least you're giving him credit for doing something. And yes, he's 100% responsible for us getting out of Afghanistan by hook or by crook. As shitty as it may seem to you, as chaotic as everything is, we're fucking getting out. Something Trump was incapable of doing. Not because he couldn't give the order, not because it wasn't materially possible. This is a can, not versus may situation. Technically, he had the ability to do it, but he was incapable of doing it.
Did you hear about the argument that our 82nd Airborne had with the SAS? Okay, so
maybe that's what Boris Johnson was calling about.
This comes from the ground.
Okay. Oh, right. Very cool. All right.
One of the commanders of the 82nd Airborne, they're in Kabul at the airport.
What are they doing there?
Actually dressed down the commander of the SAS. That's their like Delta Force.
Mm-hmm. Special Air Service.
Because the SAS and France.
So we're back to saying French fries? Cool.
France are leaving the airport and going out and getting and rescuing people. Mm-hmm. And our commander of the 82nd Airborne said to the SAS, "You're putting our deal in jeopardy."
Right, because military trucks on the road, they're worried that the Taliban will take that as an invasion force of anybody and will heighten the chance that gunfighting and violence will occur. And in our agreement currently, anyways, with them not opening fire on anybody, is that they're supposed to let anybody through who has American papers. And if they don't, then that's when the extraction can happen at other sites later. But in the meantime, when you're driving through town in trucks or you're landing military helicopters in the middle of the fucking city, you're creating a chance where shit will pop off. He's not an idiot. He knows what he's talking about. And by the way, where the fuck do you think those people are going once the SAS pulls them out? They're going to the airport, and we're flying them home. How are you this dumb? Again, siding with the military decisions of another country over the military decisions of your own military. This is, God, it's hilarious.
You're causing trouble, and the Taliban
causing trouble. Yes, you are raising the chances that this will escalate into gunfire.
Will renege on our deal.
Right. And the deal is anybody with American paperwork, and probably French and British if they need to get in, anybody who's like a foreigner who's trying to get out of the country can get to the airport. We have a deal with the Taliban to make sure they can get through the checkpoints. Anybody with American paperwork that says they work for us or are part of our thing that shows up, you got to let them through. And if you go out there in military trucks, a bunch of these assholes, these hicks with machine guns are going to think that you're trying to take over the city again or something, and they're going to open fire.
Oh my gosh. Apparently, from what I hear from the ground...
The ground? Oh, you mean from the SAS?
Members of the 82nd Airborne are crazy angry. Crazy angry.
Are they? Which members are those?
And they should be.
Because they want...
Why? Because we are peacefully extracting people without any shots being fired, and we would like to keep that going till our people are out, because the people we are extracting are civilians. Especially. And we don't have enough bulletproof vests, for example, for all of them.
Go out and save the people.
Oh my God.
They are.
They want to go out and do what they are capable of doing. And that is...
Yeah, but you're doing it overtly, and that will raise tensions and create a military response from the Taliban. And this is so stupid.
How many people... We've been doing this show, Glenn, for this entire war.
And never have you gotten to the end of it.
Entire war.
War.
This show became nationally syndicated. We signed the deal in August 2001.
And still...
So we
started the week of September 11th.
Yeah, we were scheduled to start January 2002. They moved it up till right after September 11th, after the attacks.
Because we're really going to want to hear from these guys.
This has been...
What was your opinion about going into Afghanistan in the first place? And what was your 5th year, 10th year, and 15th year anniversary shows like?
The arc of our entire show, our entire career, at least for me, and a good chunk of it for you.
Half of mine.
Yeah. And we've
talked good half
to thousands of people who have fought in that war at this point. Thousands of them that have come.
And you're not going to talk to any new ones.
Whether they've had experiences there.
2 years from now, you won't be able to interview anyone who's been fighting in Afghanistan for the last 2 years.
They've come back home and have struggled, and this audience has raised millions of dollars for them.
Right. And we care about them, and we're certainly not going to extend a situation where some of them might be called to go back in there and stay there for another 10 years. What the fuck are you asking for?
Whether it's been people who have written books telling the whole story. To a man.
Well, apparently they can't tell the whole story because it's just ending now.
All of them would say right now what they want to do is go out and get these people and get them the hell out of this country.
Yeah.
Right. However, if they do that in military vehicles, then the Taliban fighters will think the deal is broken and they will start killing people. Right now, they're not doing that. Not en masse anyways. Strategy is actually valuable. Brute force is not always the answer.
We don't leave people behind.
We're not. And one of the ways we're not leaving them behind is leaving their corpse in the street because we broker a deal and then we break the deal and then the Taliban starts opening fire on groups of people and our people are in that group of people and that we leave them behind because they're fucking dead, you dolt.
That is one of our strengths. China, kill them, slaughter them, we'll make more.
Mm-hmm.
Not
That's
America.
Yeah.
Right. That's just why we're bringing everyone out. That's why we're talking to the Taliban and making sure we get our people out instead of playing this little fucking game where we go in and muscle up and then these idiots start firing on people and then people get killed because you wanted to do the macho exit.
It is the Judeo-Christian value.
Turn the other cheek? No, that's not the one. Don't eat shrimp. Nah, obviously you're not following that one. Don't wear 2 types of cloth on the same body. Shaving is wrong. You shouldn't trim your beard. Oh, that's not. You're not following that one. What's there's one of these Judeo-Christian. Like if somebody cuts off your ear, Jesus will put it back on.
We value life.
Oh yeah? We do. So we struck a deal with the Taliban last year for a May 1st exit without preparing for the evac of the special immigrant visa folks because we value life in a Judeo-Christian way.
All life. We say
all life. All life. All.
Soldiers on the other side. That's who we are.
Right. And
this administration and all of these CRT bull crap people.
Critical race theory worked its way into this? How the shit?
This is going to be a very difficult show.
Hey, they're all difficult, Glenn. They require thought.
Maybe this is the last one.
My gosh, all of these people are so...
Have nothing to do with what we're talking about. I guarantee right now they're not operating a racial quota system. Is there an affirmative action system as far as who's getting pulled out of the crowd?
They hate us so much. They believe that this is who we are. So it doesn't matter to them.
I don't know what that means.
America is just a horrible place anyway.
So we might as well, open fire on crowds? What the fuck is he talking about?
That just treats people horribly and they don't care. So that's what they're doing.
Is that what they're doing? Because I saw a soldier lifting a baby over a wall. I saw a kid with with a jacket over them as a blanket. I heard stories of soldiers going over the wall and pulling in 167 Americans and their families. I've heard in the Judeo-Christian way that apparently instead of opening fire on all the Taliban in Kabul, we are in negotiations and in constant contact with them to make sure that Americans get through without a shot being fired so that no one has to die unnecessarily. But if they do fire on anybody, they're going to get fucked up, which is also what they got told. Not quite in the Judeo-Christian side of things, but I think we're all realists in the circumstance. My question is, Glenn, at what point, if somebody looks back at Kabul, do they turn into a pillar of salt? You look like a pillar of salt. Perhaps you can explain.
Believe it, it is.
I don't know.
We're the ones in charge now. Uh-huh. You could be the ones who say, no, America's not like that, and we go help people.
We are helping people, and one of the ways we're helping people is by not going in using military force because we have an agreement that allows people to be extracted peacefully.
Middle of the country, and every single soldier knows what the right thing to do is.
Yeah. Apparently, the soldiers were saying, let's get the fuck out of here 8 years ago. And the last 4 years especially, everybody was like, Trump ran on getting us out. Why the fuck aren't we leaving? And the generals above him were doing these puff pieces and telling the president, telling everybody else, it's fine, we need a little more time. And Biden gets in and gets this IC assessment that says the generals have been puffing this up for a while. This is very reminiscent of Vietnam. There is no there. The government sucks. The soldiers aren't going to fight. It's not going to change. And he went, all right, I'm pulling it. We're getting the fuck out. And we start doing that. And we add months to the original Trump plan to start extracting people. We close down bases. What the fuck are we going to... What are we doing with the base after? I mean, we're obviously going to strafe bomb it, and we've been blowing up parts of it since. And we're not talking about it because obviously it would rile things up as we're trying to extract people, which is kind of the point. But once all of our people are out, you goddamn right we're going to be blowing up runways.
I have news for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
If the Taliban thinks this is over, you better be very careful because
because Glenn's going to come over there and show you how to Postmate fried chicken.
These clowns are out of office. I will personally buy all of the silver bullets with the names of each member of the Taliban.
They're werewolves now? I think I want to go out on a limb, Glenn, and just say that I'm fairly certain regular bullets will work. I don't think they're magic. Glenn Beck thinks the Taliban are magical, mythical beasts. And he will do fuck all. Glenn, you won't do shit, dude. You haven't done shit. You're not doing shit. Interviewing people who wrote books, who've been through real military service, and saying thank you to them while extending the war that they were in unnecessarily for years is not bravery. You're a hack. This is bullshit. Go fuck yourself. I so love having a show different from his where I can use the language I find appropriate.
I'll engrave them with my fingernails if I have to.
Well, obviously you don't have to. There's probably some sort of service, right? There has to be a military contractor friend of Don Jr.'s that can get that done for you. They'll make them in China. Don't worry.
And I would love to see them deposited in the heads of every... Oh, you remember the Taliban?
Well, sorry, what was the Judeo-Christian? We're about to see a description. This is the finest version of Judeo-Christian values we've ever seen.
Boom.
Sorry, how did it go again? I gotta say, we need to go back in here. Sorry.
Deposited in the heads of every... Oh, you remember the Taliban? Boom!
That's it. There you go. Will you do it yourself, Glenn? Can we airdrop you into Jalalabad? Where should we drop him? How about this, Glenn? We'll just drop you geographically in the exact center of Afghanistan, and you can just start doing this everywhere. Listen to this macho bullshit. He first of all, he will do no such thing. Secondly, this is not an example of Judeo-Christian values or we value all life. This asshole just 10 sentences ago was saying we value all life, and then he's like, I will personally engrave the names of it. Like, first of all, you can't even pronounce the names, much less spell them. What, are you going to learn Arabic so you can write them properly? And then on silver bullets, you're wasting... I mean, how cheap is silver? Is he going to dovetail this into a precious metals ad? Bullshit, Glenn. You're a macho moron. I would call this toxic masculinity, but there's nothing masculine about you right now. This is like a marshmallow threatening you. If I had arms, I'd choke the shit out of you right now.
This is...
Yeah, he's livid. This is mean. This is mad, Glenn. I don't know. If I was the Taliban, I would be shaking in my boots right now. Look how livid he is. He hasn't been this livid since somebody gave him the shortest pencil at miniature golf.
Not us. This is not us. We were dressed...
What is us? Is us killing every member of a military force on the other side by name regardless? I mean, they're like conscripted child soldiers that are sucked up into the Taliban. There are boys taken by the Taliban, just like Boko Haram does, and forced to fight, okay? And they grow up within it, and that's their entire culture from when they're 9 years old or 7 years old. They're scooped up. Many of them are used as sex slaves in the camps, and then they're turned into, like, battle-hardened warriors. They're on drugs. It's fucked up. And Glenn wants these young men who have been living in this version of reality to have their own engraved silver bullet that he personally shoots them in the head with. This is fucking goofy.
Down yesterday. Do you know this, right? About our military shooting members of the Taliban? Mm-hmm. And they were dressed down for it? You know why they were shooting the Taliban? Because the Taliban was shooting women and children. And they were in front of the gates. And so our Marines saw that and went, let's kill the bad guys. And they got in trouble for it.
Yeah? Would they get moved to a different section of the airport?
Incredible.
By the way, another thing.
Hold on. Let me... now, this is probably from Glenn Beck's sources. Let's see. U.S. soldiers shoot Taliban, Kabul airport. Something along those lines, isn't it? This is from the 16th. This is 4 days ago. U.S. troops shot and killed 2 reportedly armed individuals at Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul, Afghanistan, and all civilian and military flights have been halted. Amid chaotic scenes of desperate Afghans flooding the airfield, hundreds of panicking Afghans swarmed and ran outside of US C-17 earlier Monday as it taxied down the runway. We saw that part. And devastating video that echoes scenes of the Trade Center 20 years ago. Earlier, Afghans hanging on C-17 could be falling to their death. With a complete evacuation closed there, the embassy, the Taliban military is halting of operations. I'm not seeing where they're being dressed down. Taliban delegation lands in Pakistan as Kabul falls. Pentagon confirmed Monday the troops had killed 2 at the airport, and Press Secretary John Kirby said there are preliminary indications that a U.S. service member may have been wounded as well, but stressed he was relying on early reports. Breached the southern civilian side, panic and desperation. Uzbekistan initially reported it shot down an Afghan A-29 Super Tucano aircraft, but later corrected that statement and said the Afghan fighter had accidentally collided with an Uzbek jet escorting it. Uzbekistan said both plane pilots ejected and survived. The U.S. has sent... Geez, those Taliban pilots are just top-notch. Top-notch. U.S. is sending another battalion of troops to Afghanistan. We saw this. 2,500 troops at the airport. The addition of 82nd and a Marine expeditionary unit will bring troop levels to more than 3,000 by Tuesday, according to Kirby, which it did. Obviously, we obviously don't want anyone else to get hurt, while the Taliban's been sweeping across the country, claiming province after province with little or no military opposition from American-trained and equipped government forces. The U.S. hasn't conducted an airstrike in Afghanistan in several days. According to Kirby, he declined to provide details. Yeah, because we're trying to get our people out, and we're trying to not start any shit with the Taliban until our people are safe. I know. That sounds insane.
I want you to know the government is telling you, if you're there, just get to the airport.
Right, because they have a deal with the Taliban to not fuck with any Americans or anybody aligned with the Americans or any of our allies who are trying to get to the airport, or we will fuck you up. And we won't go out with guns as long as that deal holds. The second you don't, then we're going to start sweeping streets. That's when the airstrikes happen. We would rather get all of our people out peacefully, then start the shit from the air. Just saying. I mean, if you want to save lives in a Judeo-Christian kind of a way.
Every other country is going out and getting theirs.
And bringing them to the airport that we secured and flying them out on our airplanes.
We're telling everyone, you just got to get to the airport. We are...
Right, and they're getting to the airport.
Flying planes out at 50% capacity. No one else is doing that.
Well, no one else is flying planes out.
We are. And we are abandoning all of those people there.
No, we're not.
Not on my frickin' watch.
It's not your watch, Glenn. You have no watch. It's never been, you're not even wearing a watch. There is no point, Glenn, where it is your watch. This is just dumb. Again, is this what happens? Should I take my little logo thing over there down and take my name off the screen? Is this how people lose their fucking mind over time? Is this what happens when you sit in a studio for 20 years with a goofy-ass logo behind you at all times? Do you just go all David Koresh? It's not your watch, Glenn. It will never be your fucking watch. Ever, ever, ever. You're a mouthpiece at best. You have no other job. You do nothing else. I'm lucky. I really am. I have other shit to do. Nerd Halen has shows. I have stand-up shows coming up. I will be acting again once the production of stuff starts again. No concerns whatsoever. So I don't have to rely on this for my sense of worth. I also have, family and friends and a child and things that give me, a genuine reflective feeling of worth in the world and love and something to put my effort into that I know will have lasting impact. You, however, have this weird blue studio that you just can't seem to leave, no matter how many times you try to turn yourself into some sort of Tahoe spa. Is this what it happens? Not on my watch. Get the fuck out of here.
Not with you, not with me.
Not in a train, not down the drain.
Not with the vast majority of Americans.
The vast majority of Americans in the most recent polls say we're glad we're getting out. 66%. Only 20% want to stay in. Who the fuck are those people?
No.
Yeah, you tell them, Glenn.
No.
All right. I'll have the car back by 10:30. Is there going to be a maybe?
I will tell you, last night I went to bed.
Oh, he was livid.
$20 million is a lot of money.
Is it?
And 5,000 human beings is a lot of pressure.
What?
I want to just share some of the thoughts I had last night because I think...
Yeah, I think we all want to know. And you've only got 30 seconds left. Give us 40 seconds of $20 million and 5,000 people. And all right, I don't know where this is going.
Really important.
Okay, good. Is it as important as Afghanistan?
But I give you my word, we will do everything that is moral.
Why start now?
And I can't say legal because it would be legal with the Taliban.
Well, then, they're not a recognized government. So we don't even technically, the only borders we recognize are the borders on the other side, like the Iranian border and the Pakistan border. We recognize when it starts, but we don't give a shit where it ends. That's currently the state everyone's in. And?
So, moral and legal as we understand it, not as the Taliban understands it.
Well, that's good.
We will, I don't care how long it takes us, we will get those people out.
You're not getting anyone out, dumbass. The U.S. government is. Please tell me that after this is all done, when we've evacuated like 30,000 fucking people, and we're already to the part where we're extracting people from the Pakistani side of the border, the Iranian side of the border, the Uzbekistan side of the border, or the Russian side of the border, who come across there, we provide them with material aid as refugees, and we start running some of those folks through and going, oh yeah, I was a translator and I just ran when they came, so I'm over here and I contacted my people. I'm not in the actual country, but I'm safe here for now, but we want to eventually go to the United States or one of our allied countries, because Australia left their fucking people. I'm sure Sky News in Australia will tell us all about that. You're not going to do shit, Glenn. Honestly. I wish you would. Dump 20. Go charter a fucking flight. Fly in there yourself. Mwah. Does anybody think this asshole is going to charter a plane into Kabul airport on the civilian side to extract anyone? Nonsense. The ego. Yeah, you tell him the blaze. Jesus Christ. That was a lot. Glenn, you're embarrassing everyone. Shut the fuck up. Look, I love a good, healthy ego. There's a reason why I played the David Lee Roth part in Nerd Halen. But seriously, not on my watch.